Hello, welcome back. So this episode is it's more of an informational episode. So I'll be talking about what remote sales is, why companies hire closers, what are the industries that use high ticket remote sales. So what is remote sales? What a closer does, the difference between retail sales and remote sales, and what niches or industries use remote sales, and why companies are hiring remote closers, and briefly talk about the growth of remote sales. So this is more informational, like technical stuff. I just wanted to give you this information so that you have a better understanding of what exactly remote sales is. And if it's something that you're possibly interested in learning more about. Okay, so let's see here. So remote sales is the process of selling products or services without even meeting the prospect in person. So everything happens online via video calls, whether it's Zoom, Google Meet, or anything else. It could be done over phone calls. You can follow up via email and set up appointments via email that way, and other messaging platforms like social media platforms and so on. And remote sales professionals can work from anywhere, from home, from their villa in Italy, like anywhere, as long as they have internet, Wi-Fi, and a laptop and a phone. And many companies use customer relationship management or CRM softwares to track these conversations and manage the leads. Remote sales is common in high ticket services. So high ticket typically starts out, I think it's like at least 5,000 or more. It depends where you do your research. The research still says 2,000 to 3,000, but I think it's more 5,000 and up. It can be used so remote sales is common in high ticket services, online education, coaching, software, and consulting. And people often book appointments online, whether that's social media, like if you see an ad on social media and then it says learn more, book here, people do it that way. And then they speak to a salesperson remotely. It's usually so when that initial contact happens, it's usually the setter or DM setter that makes the initial contact usually, and then you make an appointment with the closer. And what do closers do? A closer is a salesperson responsible for guiding the prospect to this process, so converting them into a paying customer. So the closer is basically there to guide them to see if it's a good fit, assess what their situation is, and really understand their situation if the solution that you have as a closer is a good fit. And so typical responsibilities are as conduct scheduled sales calls with qualified leads, ask discovery questions to understand the customer's needs, present the solution or offer clearly. So there's a process that a closer goes through. It's not just like a 5-minute thing. It's like 30 to 45 minutes. This process also helps prospects make a confident buying decision. Like I said, whether it's a good fit for their situation. And it's the sales professional's job to maintain rapport, build trust and empathy during these conversations, because depending on which niche service or program, if you're serving business to consumer, and let's say you're on a relationship coaching offer, it can be sensitive topics can come up as well in fitness offers as well. So we have to maintain trust and empathy. If it's B2B business, obviously it's a little different. You're more talking about numbers and logistics and stuff like that. And so closers typically work with warm leads. So when a closer gets a prospect, it's typically ran through this pipeline already. So the lead is already filtered to where they're more likely to buy. And then closers also work with marketing teams that generate leads beforehand as well. And the difference between retail sales and remote sales. So in remote sales happen online or over the phone. It's often appointment based and can involve high ticket offers starting at 2,000. This number is like adjustable. I've been seeing different numbers lately. So some say 2,000. Some people as a collective may say 5,000. So 5,000 or more, I mean. And remote sales is independent on the location. So it could be anywhere. It could be on the phone. It could be you can be in the US and then the closer could be in Australia or London or wherever. And these sales conversations can be longer and more consultative manner. So these closers can use client relationship management systems or CRMs, video calls, and digital tools versus retail sales usually happens in person in a store. Usually customers walk in and it's usually oftentimes a lower ticket item. And the work location is a brick and mortar, it's an actual physical store. And interactions are usually shorter. So basically, it's more like what are the benefits of this product? How much does it cost? And which color or which size or, stuff like that. So it's just very minimal contact and the point of sale system and in-store interaction. So it's basically when the customer has their product, they go to a cash register and they, just pay for it that way. And so industries using remote sales so many like industries such as coaching programs, for example, Tony Robbins, right? Or like Tony Robbins is a good one. Other coaching programs, high ticket, like programs like certification programs, training programs, like tech coding programs. And so, for example, common industries include online education and coaching, digital marketing agencies may use closers, software companies, SaaS, real estate investment training. So, and like other real estate organizations, so like property, like if you want to invest in a property or Airbnb, like they may use closers to get students to join their program. Financial services is one, business consulting, health and wellness programs, e-commerce brands with high ticket products, recruiting and staffing services, insurance sales may use remote closers. So like I said, as an example, a business coaching company might run ads online, collect applicants and or leads, and then have a closer conduct Zoom calls with qualified applicants. So with remote sales, high ticket remote sales, there's actually like a process. So you see an ad on Instagram and it seems like you want to do this certification for whatever, let's say breathwork. You want to be a certified breathwork facilitator and you press learn more. And then someone responds to your DMs on Instagram and they ask you questions and then you book a call to learn more. You go through, so then you may ask questions, and that's the DM setter asking you like qualifying questions to see if you will go to the next step. And so you say yes, you move on, you make an appointment for the next day to talk to someone, and that closer will ask you other questions. Hey, like so and so told me you're interested in doing breath work because let's say you're already doing Reiki and you want to add breath work in your tool belt as a tool to use with your clients. And so they talk about your situation and they go through this process. They guide you through this process to evaluate if, like, your situation and their solution, the certification program will be a good fit for you. And that's kind of how the process goes. There's a lot of nuance to that. I'm not going to get into that with this video, but we're just moving right along. And so the next topic is why companies hire remote closers. So if, like, let's say the breathwork organization. Let's say let's say I'm a breathwork coach and now I have a company that makes, now that now I have a certification program that qualifies other people to be breathwork facilitators. And so in the beginning, I would get my leads, I would set the call and I would close the call because I'm just a one woman show because let's say my business is only 6 months old, right? Or 3 months old. I don't need closers right now. It's just me. But when you start getting in more leads and you start getting more calls in, and I'm the business owner, but I also coach these students to become breathwork facilitators. I come to a point where I cannot take those calls. I'm solely focusing on teaching these students. And now I have to hire a setter and a closer. So I'm going to hire a remote closer to make the sales call. And reasons for this is higher conversion rates from trained sales professionals, ability to sell globally, not just locally, lower costs compared to running physical sales offices. Closers often work on commission or performance-based pay. Marketing teams generate leads while closers focus on selling, allows founders and CEOs to focus on operations instead of sales calls. Remote closers can handle large volumes of book calls. So if you have a full-time closer and they're open for 40-hour-a-week slots and they only work 30 hours a week, that's 30 calls a week. So you kind of get my drift here. And so they hire organizations or businesses hire closers so the business owners can work on other things in the business, either coaching or working on marketing and operations behind the scenes. And the last topic is growth of remote sales. So I'm still pretty new in remote sales, but it's been around for a while. Yeah. Remote sales has grown rapidly due to technology and changes in consumer behavior. So key growth factors are increased use of video conferencing, such as Zoom, Google Meet, webinars, and stuff like that. Growth of online businesses and digital products. So now there's a lot more businesses online, fitness programs, coaching programs, all types of niches like writing, like coaching for writing or, coaching for acting, coaching for pickleball, like all sorts of things. Companies adapted more remote work after the COVID-19 pandemic. So things totally changed after the pandemic. And so things didn't go back. So a lot of things stayed the same as far as working remotely and looking for remote jobs. Expansions of global online marketplaces and services, buyers becoming more comfortable purchasing through virtual meetings. And according to industry reports, remote sales interactions are now more common than in-person sales meetings. So there's a lot more staff meetings going on virtually, like on Zoom. There's more people meeting virtually or collaborations virtually, even in the social media space, like if you're an influencer and then you work with brands, that's also a type of interaction there, remote sales related kind of a thing. And many companies are building fully remote sales team. So especially tech companies, there's a lot of tech companies that are solely remote. And so you're going to see that more. And yeah, so I'll just list the references somewhere up here. So about that. And so that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's not like I'm still training in remote sales. So yeah, that's pretty much what they've been teaching us and informing us. So it's pretty exciting, I feel like, because for like stay-at-home moms or like moms in general or women in general, like it's so much better to work remotely, especially if you have little kids or maybe you have like a loved one you have to take care of. It really helps to be at home and not have to drive and be in that commute and gas, maintenance, wear and tear on the car, all those things. And also like when it comes to like flu season, it's so nice to be at home and that because like let's say people at your job are sick, let's say you have a hybrid role. It's nice to work from home and not be exposed to the sickness of other people. It's also nice not to drive in the rain or snow or unpredictable weather wherever you are in the world. You just have to have good internet and a computer, basically. So that's my little spiel on what remote sales is. It's more informational, like I said before, but I hope this gave you more of a better idea of what remote sales is. And if it's, something you're interested in later on, just to think about. So yeah. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye for now.